Hello everyone, I'm Alex Dykes, and today we're inside the 2014 Ford Fusion Energi, and we're taking a look at the infotainment system, otherwise known as MyFord Touch. We're starting off right here in the instrument cluster because MyFord Touch also uses these two 4.2-inch LCDs on either side of a central speedometer for additional interaction with that MyFord Touch system. In addition to providing entertainment information, this two-screen layout also replaces certain gauges for the car. Right over here we have the power gauge. This shows you how much power is being delivered by the engine on that outer ring and by the electric motor on that inner ring. We also have our average fuel economy. We can see how much our climate and other systems are consuming. We have a battery gauge right over here because we're in plug-in EV mode and we have a slightly charged battery. This now says 0 miles. If it was completely drained and it was just operating in the hybrid battery, it would just be a blue little battery icon there with a line somewhere. And then we have a fuel gauge right there. Both screens, left and right, are controlled via a corresponding button array on the steering wheel with left, right, up, down, and OK buttons. They allow you to interact with that screen. Taking a look at the left screen, we have a wide variety of different displays available for our EV here, from different ways of viewing the way that your power is coming out of the engine to a view that's customizable. So this is my view. You can actually change what these readouts are here, so you can choose whether you want a tachometer, etc., or you can choose what you want in this portion of the display, making it a little bit handier. There's a little braking coach here to tell you how well you're accelerating, braking, and cruising for optimum fuel economy. Going all the way back, we also have trip computers 1 and 2, so you can see trip computer information there. We have a fuel economy readout, again with this braking coach, fuel economy history, etc. Can go at any time and change the interval time, 1-2 minutes. You can alter how you want this battery display to be showing. You can choose whether you want it to show whether regeneration is active. It'll put a little scrolly wheel right there over the battery, and you can have it to show your charge level. Going back down to the next one, we have various information screens. We have a system check feature, which is very handy. Tells you what might be wrong with your car. Oil life is okay, brakes are okay, etc. Also have My Key. My Key allows you to limit speeds and limit volume settings for your children, so you can program a key that only they can use the car with, and it will keep them from speeding or playing the songs too loud. We also have certain vehicle settings available right here on this screen. Moving over to the right side LCD, this is where you'll find your entertainment, phone, navigation interfaces, etc. Entertainment, in addition to showing you what's currently playing, also allows you to change your source. So if you want to go there, you can actually change source via the screen on the steering wheel, or you can also do this via natural voice commands. We have a phone interface, fairly fully featured Bluetooth phone interface right here on that screen. Navigation, this will show you either a compass, or you can choose previous destinations, favorites, point of interest nearby. It'll also show you navigation next step directions. It won't show you a moving map on this display, but it will show you next step. We now have climate control as well, so you can change your temperature, change your fan speed, etc. And for the hybrid models, we have efficiency leaves. This seems a little bit silly. It basically just grows leaves on these little vines right here to tell you how efficiently you're driving. The more efficiently you're driving, the more little leaves you'll get. Moving over to the center console, we have touch buttons for our climate control, certain radio functions, as well as our heated seats. We have a physical button and knob for volume and power, and we have a physical tune button right over there. During our week with this car, we never had any problems with the touch buttons like we experienced with earlier generations of MyFord Touch. These things never went crazy, assuming you were touching the wrong button at the wrong time. We're now moving on to the 8-inch touchscreen that's nestled right inside the dashboard. This is a large, bright touchscreen, and this is one of the very first completely integrated infotainment systems out on the market, and it really shows in the polish that's going on with this system, especially when it comes to interaction with iPods and other USB media devices. We're on the home screen right here, which is a 4-quadrant setup. We have navigation, phone, entertainment, and our climate right over there. We also have an additional info button right here where you can get sync services, travel link, car alerts. You can see your calendar, additional apps, and you can ask the car, where am I? You can also click this button to access sync services, which is kind of like a light version of General Motors OnStar service. With OnStar, there is a dedicated connection in the car, so the car itself has a cell modem built into it and a cell phone built into it. That's not happening right here with Sync. Sync instead uses your paired phone or smartphone in order to interact with Sync services. Over here on the hybrid button, because we are in the plug-in hybrid, we have some additional screens that shows you your battery status, your time to fully charged, what time you're starting your charge, what time it'll end the charge. You can also go over here to power, and you can see how the vehicle is consuming the power. So right now we can see it's flowing from the plug to the climate and other systems, and then on into the battery. If we turn off the air conditioning, you'll see that climate will start using less power right over here. This little orb will decrease. You can see now that's using essentially no power. The cog icon is where you will find vehicle settings, from clock to display, We also have sound settings. We have vehicle settings like vehicle health reports. You can change your door keypad code. You can enable valet mode. You can choose what the charge port light ring does, whether it's on, off, or limited. One recent addition to Sync is this wireless and internet option. If we click over here, we do have Wi-Fi settings because the car does have a Wi-Fi interface built into it. We also have USB mobile broadband. If you have a USB broadband stick from Sprint or AT&T or whatever your carrier might be, you can plug that right into the car and use the car as a Wi-Fi hotspot for your other devices. You also have Bluetooth settings, and you can prioritize your connection method. Right here you can see how the vehicle will connect to the internet. So you can see it can either be via Wi-Fi, it can be via wireless data providers, which would be that USB mobile broadband, or it can be via your cellular paired smartphone that has a USB or Bluetooth data support. Over here on the yellow Bluetooth phone interface, we have a very fully featured Bluetooth phone interface with a full dial pad, which is a nice touch. We also have quick dial, phone book, access to our history. We also have text messaging support if your device supports it. But if I press on that little button, I'll get a little message saying that the iPhone currently does not support that, so you will need an Android phone or certain other phones that may support that. We also have direct access to our phone settings right there. Over on the navigation tab, we have access to our full navigation system. This is available as a $795 option on our particular Ford Fusion trim. We have various views here. We have a pseudo 3D view. We don't have any topographical information, as you'll notice there. We have north, up, etc. We also have a split screen view, so you can see what's coming up on your next freeway exit there, or the single screen view. Navigation traffic is provided by SiriusXM, so it does require a separate subscription rather than some of the other systems on the market that use your smartphone. You can click somewhere on the map, set as a waypoint, save to favorites, etc. You can also get a list of traffic. You also have full access to navigation settings. You can mute your guidance right there, and certain Sirius travel link services like fuel price, etc. You can click that right there. Over here on the destination option, this is where you can enter a destination. You do have to be stopped in order to use this particular interface. You can search for addresses, intersections, city center, etc. All of these options are available via natural voice commands in Sync. However, these Sync voice commands are getting a little bit slow compared to some of the newer competition. It did take a little bit more time to enter a destination via the voice commands in this system than it did in certain competing systems. One thing to note is that entering an address via voice commands is usually faster than trying to enter it on this keyboard, because this version of Sync does have a slightly slow processor, although the graphics are very snappy. Over on the last tab, which is Climate, and this is the blue one right down here in the right corner, the system is very unique in the segment by not only offering you a touch screen with all these buttons and options on it, but also voice commands for all these options. So you can click the voice command button on the steering wheel and tell the car to set the climate control to 70 degrees or 69 degrees or whatever temperature you'd like to do. You can also tell it to go in auto mode, etc. Almost all of these buttons are voice commandable. Lastly, on our infotainment tab, you'll see we do have album art, and we're right now on our USB interface. If we scroll down that list, you'll notice we also have Bluetooth stereo, an SD card input, and the AV input right there in the center console. We have 2 USB ports in this car. They do treat them as separate devices, so they don't amalgamate the library like you would find in Cadillac Q or certain other General Motors systems. Single slot CD player, Sirius with 3 presets for channels, FM with 3 presets for channels, and AM with 2 presets per channel. Because of Sync's age, things are very mature in this system, so we didn't notice any problems interacting with our iOS device. The voice commands work very well, and most importantly, as many people have noted, plugging and unplugging iOS devices or other USB media devices, an awful lot of competitive systems forget which playlist you're on. That doesn't really happen with Sync, so your day-to-day interactions with the system do seem to be a little bit more polished than some of the competition. We have full access to our iPods or USB media devices, playlists. We can have our songs, artists, albums, genres, etc. These are all completely voice commandable like you would expect in Sync as well. However, possibly due to the age of this system, if we scroll down to our Bluetooth interface, if we were to click on my iPhone, which is Bluetooth paired with this system, we would no longer be able to browse the songs and playlists on this device like you can with certain other competing systems over Bluetooth. Most notably Honda's system, as well as the Toyota systems, all allow you to interact with your phone's playlists, albums, genres, etc. via that Bluetooth interface. We still have album art support, however. Overall, MyFord Touch is definitely my first choice in this segment, and I think overall this is still my second choice, right behind BMW's current generation iDrive system in general terms. Honda's 2-screen system just seems a little bit half-baked, and the graphics aren't quite as attractive as the system, and it doesn't interact with your gauge cluster like this system does. It's definitely worth, in my mind, paying the extra $795 for the optional navigation software, because you never know when you might need that. Navigation software is always something that I would prefer to buy in a car, although you do need to keep in mind that you do have to keep this software up to date just like any other navigation system, so you will have to pay for regular map updates, etc. And the nav traffic is an extra cost. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Again, I'm Alex Dykes. Go ahead and click that subscribe banner at the bottom of your screen. You can also click on over to the full review of the 2014 Ford Fusion Energi plug-in hybrid. I expect that review to be up in about a day or so. So if that button's not working right now, then go ahead and check back in a day or two. You can also send me emails to alex@alexonautos.com. Find me at facebook.com/alexonautos, and we'll see you next time.